Assalamu alaikum. When it speak of in the book of Revelation 20 verse 4 about the 1,000-year period, is that of the same duration of our days?
Read the section you're talking about.
And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of Allah, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years.
And the question is, brother?
The question is those days, 1,000 years, is of the same duration of our days that we live?
Yes. Yes, they are, but in this respect. When they say lived and reigned, you're talking about the Marillion. Lived and reigned with Messiah for 1,000 years, they mean not here. They mean in the crystal city. What they speak about is a new Jerusalem that comes down out of heaven, having 24 elders surrounding it. That is an actual, what you might call, space station from here. That's a crystal city in the Quran referred to as Darul Islam, the abode of peace. Darul Islam in the Quran is not on earth. You follow? And so now, yes, these 144,000 will be lifted from earth, taken up like the scripture says. Isa ibn Maryam went up, and Rasulullah Muhammad went up in the Isra, and Ilyas went up, and Enoch or Idris went up. These elders, these 23 elders, will take 144,000 perfect beings here up, and they will reside in the crystal city for 1,000 years to be taught by what you refer to as extraterrestrials, or the masters, who have been visiting the pyramids for thousands of years. And that 1,000-year period can be a duration of either 1,000 by your time or 1,000 by their time. By that I mean, when you break the speed of light, which is necessary to get out of Earth's atmosphere, we know light travels 186,272 feet per second. When you break the speed of light, time starts to slow up at a certain point. So to travel intergalactically from one part of a galaxy to the next, you would not lose a second. In fact, you can become younger when you arrive there. The same way you can travel from one side of your planet to the next and be behind time. You can leave on Thursday and arrive there on Wednesday the same week. You follow? That's because of a time belt here. That's one law of time. There, galactically, the solar system has a time belt by distance. When you break a certain speed, then you reverse in time. Meaning that when Nabi Musa, alayhi salatu wasalam, Moses, left from Mount Mori with the aid of the angels and went on to Malakut, which is referred to in the Quran as the heavens, Samawat of Allah. When he went there, by the time he got to the other side, he was the same exact age, one day, which would have taken 1,000 years of earth time to get that far. Because, like I said, light travels at 186,272 feet per second.
Right.
And a light year there with times 365 would be 5 trillion miles away. This particular galaxy alone, Terra, to another side, it can take 1,000 years of your time, which means Musa alayhi salatu wasalam would have became 1,000 years old by the time he got to the destination. You see? But when he breaks speed, when he arrives, he's the exact same age. When he returned, him and Elijah, to Jesus to meet him, they were still the same age, though Elijah had left over 4,000 years before him, and Moses another 4,000 and came back at Jesus' time another 2. You see what I'm saying? So there's a time belt. It depends on where you are. And that shows you, because I'll give you a perfect example. If you look from Seattle, Washington to Florida, the higher you get, the smaller it becomes, until it moves from miles to yards to inches to fractions of an inch, until the United States becomes a dot. So the distance it would take mentally to travel from Seattle, Washington to Florida is less than a second. Then the higher you go, it's so short the distance that you can't conceive it, because you merely see a dot. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So there's different time belts depending on which angle you're looking from. So the answer to your question is, like it says in the scripture, 1,000 years could be one day and one day could be like unto 1,000 years. It depends on where that spirit is going. And now in the view of these children, they're talking about a 1,000-year period, which will give y'all the 7,000 year. Because the devil's reign is up in the 6,000th year, which is really the 2,000th year of this new form calendar that he made. Because from canon of the Torah down to Isa el-Messiah, Jesus the Messiah, was 4,000 years. You see? Mm-hmm. And then Jesus the Messiah became the year 1, which is an obvious contradiction because they say 1 BC, and then number 2 is 2 AD. So either Jesus died at the age of 2 or somebody made a mistake in their calendar. Because if it's BC before Christ and then AD, Anno Dominus, after Christ on 2, then there's something wrong. Okay? Mm-hmm. But let's move on. At number 1, the year 1 started one of the new Christian calendar. With 4,000 years added on that, we'd now be in the year 5,000, right?
Right.
987. Correct?
Yes.
Leaving us how much before 2,000? How much before 6,000 for that matter? Now listen, if this is 1,900
about 13
and 87 year, right? How many more would make it 2,000?
13.
That's right. Yeah. So now, you are at the end of the devil's 2,000 year, which is equivalent to 6,000 year from his Adam. And his Adam was canon in Noah's time, with the one with the curse of leprosy, which made him albino or white in complexion, as found in the books of Leviticus 13 and 14 when they received the curse. Mm-hmm. His rule is up. Like Elijah Muhammad was telling people, his rule is up in the year 6,000, which starts 1,000 before the 7th day of creation is complete. Can you understand that?
Yeah, I understand.
Which gives you one more 1,000th year to prepare before the time allotted to humane beings is through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah. Shukran.
You said black people didn't have souls anymore. That they was
say what?
Black people. That they was becoming
light people.
Black.
Oh, go ahead.
that they was becoming evil and they didn't have souls. And I wanted to know how you can tell, what are the characteristics from the people changing.
The whole emotional state of black people has changed from familyism, as you would have it, to individualism. Everything is about themselves, which makes them more accessible to drugs, because drugs is a personal experience. I don't care if you're in a crowd of 20 people. The moment you inhale crack or inject heroin, you are then an individual. For the moment, the stimulant is individual. If 50 people in a room taking the drugs, each one becomes an individual. We have now become, like the devil, attracted to our individualism and lost our tribal and community involvement. We have once were tribal people, and that meant that when you people are in that room out there, in the newcomers class, there's people there sitting there that won't even look at each other. Won't even interact with each other emotionally. They'll come in this class and sit here from 1 o'clock until 6, and don't even at the end of the class walk up and say, well, because we all have the same interests for the fact that we're here, what's your name? My name is this, and I'm reading such and such a book, and so where do you live at? Maybe we can interact and communicate and help each other. Everybody's sitting there as an individual. They let a God what knowledge they can for themselves to either convince themselves to come in or wait for the mistake that they'll never find so they don't have to come in. Because all these people are sitting here hoping one thing he can't answer. You'll never find the question that can't be answered. I've been doing this for more years than your great-grandmothers were born. And I've been asked every question y'all can imagine. So if you came here to hope I can't answer the question, you're in for a big letdown. So you might as well get prepared. And so but they will not interact with each other.
They're sitting there, they won't even look at each other at times. They won't smile at each other. We come in, we have this frown on our face when we're on the subway. We have this frown on our face when we walk down the street. We have this frown on our face when we get to our jobs. We have to learn to interact with each other and learn to care for each other. With this absence of community or tribal relationship, we are a tribe, you know. Without this tribal tie and without this tribal relationship, there's an absence of what do you call soul. And then the new generation of young kids, you look at the new generation and look at the way they dance, the way they move, what they call hip-hop. It's all offbeat, all off